Hey there guys, welcome to another edition of VGU Talks, and let's talk games. Today we're talking about Hitman and the fact that we're now in March and the countdown begins till March 11th when we get our first mission of Hitman, the brand new one. I wanted to talk about the DLC practice that it's doing and whether it's actually best for the Hitman series in the long run. So if you guys don't know what Square Enix and IO Interactive are doing with the new Hitman, what they're doing is they are making it truly episodic. And what I mean by this is that on launch on March 11th, for $15, £15 equivalent, you will be able to purchase the prologue mission and the first location of the game, which is Paris in France. And then as more and more content is completed by the developers and brought out to you, they will be available separately in $10, £10 installments, including areas such as Sapienza in Italy and Marrakesh in Morocco. These will include many different targets, many campaign missions, and much more content for you to enjoy. But this does mean that if you want to get invested on day one, you are going to have a very limited pool of content, at least out of the starting box. Now, I'm a big fan of Hitman. My favourite game of the series will probably have to be Hitman Blood Money. And the series itself is very much constructed along the lines of you have different assassination missions to go on to assassinate either one or multiple targets within an area, and you're pretty much left with, here are your target or targets that need to be assassinated, go nuts. Like, you're thrown into the area and you're left to do what you want to do to effectively complete the mission. This means you can do anything from creating the biggest ruckus known to mankind, go into firefights, chase down the assassination target and blow his brains out, doing everything perfectly silent, or even blending in, disguising yourself as someone who's able to get on the inside, maybe putting venom or some kind of poison into a drink or into a bit of food that the target is going to eat or drink, and then slowly watch them succumb to their own death. The games encouraged you to attempt many different scenarios of taking down a single target, which felt brilliant because you can do the hilarious way, the straightforward way, the professional way, and many other ways in between. Luckily, from what I have been able to try out in the beta, the game very much still feels like that from Hitman Blood Money, where you can pretty much achieve any kind of death you can possibly imagine within the game's confines, which is great. No problems there. My only problem about the game really is with this whole episodic practice, because it's not going to play like something along the lines of Life is Strange, where it is genuinely an episodic series where every single episode extends the story, gives you more of the gameplay, introduces new elements and new ideas for you to keep into consideration, and keeps things fresh as you wait from one episode to the other. This is very much a matter of the full release coming later on in 2016, but as each and every mission is finishing development and as each and every mission is available, they might as well be released in chunks so that if people wanted to play only specific areas of the game, or they wanted to, over time, collect the entire game, they can as an option over waiting until the full boxed release to get a disc version on store shelves. And as much as I am worried about how this is going to work in the long run for the game, short term, it actually does work for Hitman, and allow me to explain why. As I said earlier, the games are very much assassination target, do this mission, let's move on to the next one. Some of the games do have branching narratives that carry on from one assassination mission to the next, more so in Hitman Absolution if you've played that one. But in the previous games, it's very much been a matter of, here's your first contract, here's your second contract, here's your third contract, and so on. And that's the way I'm foreseeing how this game's going to be brought out. So the different DLC packs that we're going to be seeing throughout the years are going to be different cases that Agent 47 is going to be able to pick up, go on, and do. Now, every location may not necessarily just have that one target. It may have multiple targets, side quests, optionals, all that jazz, making the game much bigger in the long run than you would originally anticipate. I'm very much looking forward to what the game is going to add in over time, and for how it is doing this release, I think it's going to work quite well. With that said, however, I am on the bench of saying I'm not going to buy each and every different WOD of the game separately. I'm very much going to wait until the full release, because in my opinion, when the full release is out, by that time, all the other missions would have been patched, fixed, worked on, and perfected, so that when I have it on disc, everything should work. So in a sense, yes, this practice does work. However, with that said, I'm still kind of on the fence with it. Like 50% of me says, yeah, it's a good idea. 50% of me says, I'm not quite sure, why can't you just wait until full release? But I've voiced my opinions on the matter, and I now want to leave it up to you guys. What do you guys think about the new Hitman and its episodic release? Are you in support of the idea that Hitman suits this kind of release because of a case-by-case basis? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, guys, and I'll see you guys next time for another edition of VGU Talks.